Oh. Oh, Mr. Alange. How are you?
Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem.
Good.
Yeah.
Are you having a bad hair day?
I'm bad here. I need a haircut.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I gotta get close to my barber till maybe this week, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Hi, Eileen.
So we're in Yud Tes, Amud Aleph, Yotzav v'Nechlas, on Lo Min Aminin. We said that if somebody was in a cemetery and declared Nezirus, so if he goes out and retire himself, then then he goes back in, so the days that he spent outside B'tahara are counted. So Tony, the Gemara doesn't understand. I mean, he's tummy. Just because he walks out of the cemetery, he's tummy. Amar Shmuel, we're talking about he needed para aduma to be sprinkled on the 3rd and 7th day. Right? The Shana was repeated on the 7th. The Tova went to the mikvah. Now he's Torah. Now he can start counting Nezirus. So what do you mean? It's only he starts counting Nezirus if he goes back into the cemetery. Lo nichnas ein lo min. What do you mean? Well, in fact, the Gemara says lo maboy kamer. It's in the structure of not only this but this also. Meaning lo maboy yasa certainly in a case where he went out of the Beis HaKvaros that and then he's matar himself and he starts counting, that counts. Even if afterwards he goes back into a basic course, matam himself, the days that he spent outside, all the that he was taught. Ormale Rav Kana, Rav Vasile Rav. My time lo mefresh kalim milei. How come you didn't explain to us like this? I didn't think you needed the detailed explanation that you got later. Rabbi Eliezer Amar Lo Bo Bayom Shenemar, that if he was Tomei and he had Paraduma sprinkled on the 3rd and 7th day. So, and that's his first day of Nazirus, and he becomes Tomei again, it does not soiser that first day of Nazirus. And he doesn't bring a korban tumah. Why? Because it says Vayomim Arishonim Yiplu. Ad sheyu Yomim Rishonim. You need multiple days to start, at least 2 days. But then when you become Tomei, it wipes away the Nazirus. Since here you only have 1 day, it doesn't fit Yomim Rishonim Yiplu. That's somebody who Nazirus never started lechatchila. He was in the Beis HaKvaros and made a Nazirus vow. Aval ben Nazir taller, let's say he was a regular Nazir. He had counted 15 days b'tahara and then became Nitma Shenitma. If even in his first day of Nazirus, if he becomes Tomei, wipes away that day, and he brings a korban tumah for a Nazir who became Tomei. Amar of my time in Rabbi Eliezer. Where did Rabbi Eliezer get this distinction? Amar kroki Tomei Nizro. Mishum de betuma Nazar. This din of Yiplu Rishonim, Vayomim Harishonim Yiplu ki Tomei Nizro. Why is it that you need multiple days before Tumah will wipe something away? We're talking about only a case where somebody was Tomei and he declared a Nazirus vow. because the whole thing started Bituma. And now, Abai brings a stira. Already Nazir Me'ah Yom, person declares himself 100-day Nazir. V'nitma betchilas Me'ah. And he becomes somebody the first day. Yachol Yehi Soser. I might think it wipes it away. Talmud Lemer v'Hayomim Arishonim Yiplu. Ad Shilo Yomim Rishonim. So you see, the Eis Ve'Avabaya. This is not talking about a Nazir who was Tamei, who declared Nazir. This is regular Nazirus. V'Zein Lo Rishon. Similarly, Nitma B'Sof Me'ah. If he became Tamei on day 100, now there's no more days left. Yachol Yehi Soiser. I might think that if he becomes Tamei in the last day, it wipes away the prior 100 days. No. Talmud Loimer v'Hayomim Arishonim Yiplu Mechlal de Ikra Achronim. V'zeh ein lo Achronim. Here, there's no days left over. So you've got to have some days left over for the Tumah to wipe it out going backwards. Nitma b'yomei chaser achas. If he became Tamei on day 99, maybe Yachol lo yehi soiser. Talmud Lomer v'Hayomim Arishonim Yiplu Mechlal de Ikra Achronim v'zeh yesh lo Rishonim v'Achronim. Day 99 has early days, it has days left over. You can't say that we're talking about a person who was in a base like Kvaros and declared Nazirus, Meditani already knows her Me'ah. Vinitma betchilas Me'ah. Ukitani actually yomim rishonim. Tiyufta. That's a kasha. Armler of Papa Labaya. Halein yomim de kamrinan. These days that you're talking about, according to Eliezer, that you need at least 2 days berishon, the first 2 days in the beginning b'tahara. The nafachad u'matchilin train. So you finished 1 day and you started the second day, and if you get tummy on the second day, it wipes it away. Or deal with the nafkin train matchilin plus. Maybe you need to have 2 days, and you become tummy on the third day. Otherwise, it's no susira. Law of Abiyah didn't have an answer. Also, Shaila Rav. They asked Rav, Amarle Yiplu Ksiv, which is plural. The minimum plural is 2. So the din is you need to have 2 days and then come Tomei on the third. The Itzrich Lemichtav Yomim, which is plural. The Itzrich Lemiktiv Yiplu, which is also plural. Why? Because Rahman are only Yomim, because of Yiplu. Havamina Adinapkin train violent lasa. I would have thought that you have to start with 2 and become Tomei 3. Lachem because Rahman Yiplu, which says even 1, and if you only have 1 day and you become Tomei the second day, that it works. Because of Rach Yiplu, because of Yomim, have him fill Yom Echad. Maybe if you become tummy on the first day, because Rahman Yomim. So the din is you need to have 1 day at least, followed by a second day, and on the second day, if you become tummy, you bring a korban tummy, it wipes away the previous days. Mishnah. Mishnah Nazir Nazirus Harbe. A person is in Chutz La'aretz, and he declares multiple vows as a Nazir. V'hishlim es Nazirusa. And he did them. And then Achar Kach Ba La'aretz. Then he comes to Eretz Yisrael to bring his korbanos. Beishamei Oimrim, Nazir Shloshim Yom. He has to spend 30 days as a Nazir Torah in Eretz Yisrael. Beishamei Oimrim, Nazir Batchilon. You have to do all, if you did 5 Naziruses in Chutz La'aretz, you have to do all the 5 Naziruses. And the Mishnah now gives us an actual case. Maisa b'Hileni Malka. Hileni Malka was one of the Chashmona, was one of the queens during the Chashmonaim times. she was queen of a place called Hedyav, which is near the Euphrates. And the generation before the Churban, she converted, and her son, who Munvis.
I thought you can't be a convert, and become king or queen.
Well, they weren't convert in Eretz Yisrael. They were convert in a place called Hadyav. But they just converted to Yiddishkeit, and they were close to the Jewish community in Israel. And they sent beautiful presents to the base of Mikdash and to help Aniyim. And she accepted many halachas of Chazal. So Ma'aseh Bileni Malka Shalach B'nai Milchama. One of her sons went off to war. V'amram Yavo B'ni Min Al-Milchama B'Shalom. If my son comes back in peace, Ehyeh Nazira Sheva Shanim. She declared Nazir 7 years. Uba B'nai Min Al-Milchama, the T'nai was fulfilled. The son came home safe and sound. V'haisa Nazir Sheva Shanim. This is in Chutz La'aretz. U'v'sof Sheva Shanim also La'aretz. The end of the 7 years, she made Aliyah. Based on Beis Hillel said you have to keep the same Nazirs that you had in Chutz La'aretz as in Eretz Yisrael. Well, she was a Nazira for 7 years. She had to keep Nazir 7 years. And then her luck, B'sof Sheva Shanim Nitmeis. At the end of her 7 years, she became Tamei. The nymph and when they all got wiped away the previous 7 years. She had to keep another 7 years. Nimthes Nazira Esrim V'achashana. She was a Nazir for 21 consecutive years. He argues and said it was only 14. Tani Reisha Beishamai Oimrim Nazir Shloshim Yom, that when you make Aliyah and you observe the Naziris, even multiple Nazirises, in Chutz La'aretz, you just have to keep one Naziris in Eretz Yisrael. So you have to repeat all the Naziris that you did in Chutz La'aretz. What's the basis of the machlokas? Lema b'hakamif. The Beis Shammai Savri, Eretz Ha'ami Mishum Gusha Gazralel. That the ground, the land outside of Eretz Yisrael is Tamei. But the airspace is not. So it's not a Tumah Chamura. And it's not considered that if you became Tamei, that it's a full Tumah, that you'd have to start your whole Naziris again. And that's why, even if you were a 7-year Nazir, in Chutz La'aretz, according to Beis Shammai, when you come to Eretz Yisrael, you have to keep 30 days. Because the day is done.
Okay.
That no, it was a Tumah Chamura. So therefore you have to start all the Naziris from scratch. Versus low. The Tumah of Chutz La'aretz is not a Tumah Chamura, it's only a Tumah of the ground. And they make a Knas. But the Knas is a 30-day Naziris. The Knas that they gave you is that you have to repeat the full Naziris. And then the Mishnah gave us a story, Maisa Bihileni Amalka. Iboilu. So we asked the following theoretical question. How do we understand when Rabbi Yehuda argued and said Hileni didn't have to keep 21 years, but only 14? Was it Kishenit Meis? She became Tomei in Eretz Yisrael, but not at the end of 7 years, maybe only after 30 days. And he's holding a libam to Beis Shammai that you don't have to count the full 7 years, but rather 30 days. And that's why it's only 14 years. Oy dilma b'shalom nitmes. She didn't become tum at the end of 7 years. But he says his words, I'll leave it to Beis Hillel, where she'd have to keep an extra 7 years. And there's no tumah just because Beis Hillel said, when you come to Eretz Yisrael, you have to repeat it. So Toshma, the Mishnah said, also lo aretz, she made aliyah, v'aru Beis Hillel shetei nizirot sheva shnim acheros. And she became tum at the end. If she only became tum after 30 days, I'll be Beis Shammai. Yachi Rav Yehuda Melois and Nazir Arbes Reisha. No, it should say Arbes Reisha Shloshim Yama Boile. So, I'll bring you a baraisa to support the way we're learning. Rav Yehuda Omer Mishum Rav Eliezer Damar Kra Zos Torah Sa Nazir HaTorah Omer Ki Nitma Biyom Elos Ten Lo Torah Nazir. He was like Beis Hillel that there was no tumah, but she has to repeat the whatever Nazirus she had held outside. If it was 7 years, she has to repeat it. Mishnah. You had 2 sets of edim, of 2 witnesses. One set of witnesses says he declared 2 Naziruses. The Elu Me'idin, the other group of 2, so you have 2 distinct groups. So you have 4 people. They say Shenazar Chamesh. He took 5 Nazir's vows. Well, they're not equal. Therefore, in Naziris, it's like you have Edus HaKosha. Like if the Edim are giving different testimony, we don't believe any of them. Beis Hillel, what do you mean? You have 2 valid Edim. One said 2, the other said 5. Well, we use a Venn diagram. Yesh bichlal chomesh shtayim, she'enozer shtayim. Take the least common denominator. They both held that at a minimum they had 2. Even the one who said 5 admits to 2. So therefore, machlokes b'shav Beis Hillel. However, masnisin deloka haitana. Our Mishnah is not like the following Tanya. Rabbi Shmuel ben Rav Yechon ben Barak Omer. Lo nechleku b'shav Beis Hillel shtei kitei idim. There's no machlokas if you have 2 separate groups. One group of Edim said 2, the other said 5. That everybody agrees that he would have to keep 2 Naziruses because they all admit to 2. Where is the machlokas on manechliku al kasachas? 2 people, 2 Edim, 1 and 1. Echad omer shtayim ve'echad omer chamesh. One of the Edim says 2, the other says 5. Listen, you got to at least have 2 people agree, and you don't. So we wipe away the whole Edis. No. Here you could also say, at a minimum, they both hold 2, and at a minimum, we paskin 2.
What do we do in a case of let's say 2 Adams say Ruvain owes Shimon $100?
By the way,
and the others say the Ruvain owes Shimon $300. Do we take and say
no, because this is Isser, the Heter, and that's Mominus. So it's different. It's different over there. There you have principles like Hamotz b'Chavir alav Araya, keep the money b'Cheskas the owner. Here, by Edus regarding Isser, it's just more. It's much more black and white.
I see.
Here, the issue is more about the quality of the Edus. Even though the 2 Edim Elazar, one says 2, the other says 5. Beis Shammai says we reject the whole Edus. Beis Hillel says no. Even within the 2 Edim, you take the least common denominator, and we agree with that. We'll see what we're going to go into. What you asked when we get to Baba Kama and Baba Metzia about monetary issues when you have 2 Edim, do we say the same din or not?
We say machlokas.
It doesn't necessarily follow this halacha.
Oh, I see.
Because this is the survey after. We'll have to see what the din is over there. Now we don't know what this means. Amalei Rav Chama Rav Chisda my comment. Well, what is Rav talking about? He didn't just say there were 5. He said 5 and not 2. So it's not accepted by anybody. They're contradicting each other. He says 1 and 2. He said 3, 4, 5. So halamali. Well, that's not a chiddush. If by when it's stringent, that when there's 2 kitei edim, kilta, you were makel by shnei edim of one group. Kilta lo amar. In the easier case, you're not going to say it. So since one counted 1, 2, and the second counted 3, 4, 5, it's not hakosha. The smaller number is included in the bigger number, and therefore we poskin that the guy would be chayiv 2 Nezirus. Okay, I'm going to stop here. Tomorrow, I have to. My son is visiting from Israel with 2 of my grandchildren, so I have to learn at 7:00, if we could. 7.
Sounds
7
good.
o'clock. And
Okay.
okay, have a good.
Okay, yeah,
I hope
Mario,
everyone-
Mario, send me all the, I'll be away for 2 weeks. You're gonna send me
Oh.
all the,
I will.
Okay.
I
Good
will.
to see you, Tova, Walter.
thank you,
Have a
thank
good
you.
break.
Okay,
Mario, send George a missive because he was not here when we just said about the 7:00. Make
Okay.
sure he gets the thing. Thank you.
Walter, have a safe trip.
thanks. Okay.
Safe trip out there, yeah.